Alright, today's video we have a sandbox tuning preview for Ash and Iron. We'll try to go through it as quick as we can. Weapon hipfire reticles are just changing some of the weapons that have different hipfires. They're making them look cleaner, different effects, just making them look special, I guess. That's the best way to put it. So nothing really changing there. They're getting rid of deterministic recoil. According to them, it sucked, to put it simply. As far as I know, it was actually really good for hand cannons, autos, and SMGs, and everyone was liking it. The lesser skilled could actually use the weapons more. So now we're going to go back to the random RNG and good luck with your life. Aim, but whatever. That's fine. It is what it is. Weapon archetypes, heavy burst sidearm. It's only forgiveness getting nerfed by 15 stat. Not huge. Aggressive submachine guns are getting an increase in their ADS. Damage scalar fall off. I'm concerned about that. Potentially spread shot hand cannons. Increased damage versus combatants by 8%. I think that should have been like 12+% personally. But it is what it is. Added a 1-second delay after firing before you can melee to prevent near insta damage basically. Increase pellet spread angle by 5%. This could hurt, maybe, we'll see. Reduce flinch dealt to players by 30%. I don't know what that's on about, dude. I never got flinched but once in a blue moon by these hand cannons. So, I don't know what that's about, but okay. Increase ammo per brick, pickup, and crucible from 2 to 1 for sniper rifles. I guess linears just aren't important enough to mention anymore. Thanks, Bungie. You nerfed them again. Bungie secretly nerfed Lorentz and Arbalist. And the other linear that was already shit. The 3 bursts in the connect slot, the strand one, it was the exotic one, it was shit, and Bungie nerfed it in PvP even more. They nerfed all of them without saying anything in any type of thing, and like usual, what do we expect? So snipers are getting buffed, linears are getting nerfed again without anyone saying, or gotten nerfed and no one said anything about it, and sniper rifles are getting buffed too. And by sniper rifles, we obviously only mean Cloud Strike, because every other sniper in the game pretty much sucks. Cloud Strike, cracked, everything else trash. So let's give us 2 from an ammo brick. Let's give us 2 shots for Cloud Strike. Bungie, I don't think you ever know where your head is, because let's be honest here, we're literally going back to the old system. Bungie's been slowly putting us back in the old system. It's obvious Bungie thinks the best time of the game was back in the old system, and they're going back that way because they want to see if they can get people to play again. Sadly, your game is dead, so that's not going to happen. Destiny Rising is dominating the field, without a doubt. Lightweight shotguns, decreased pellet spread angle by 6%. That's actually insane. We'll see if that actually feels better. Crossbows now have a heavy ammo radar marker, visible only to the player who owns them. Thankfully, this is amazing. I'm happy about this. Make it a lot easier to find when it's in an area that blends in really well with it. Updated weapon tray icon, arbitrary, whatever English. And kill feed to reflect the crossbow's unique silhouette. Hallelujah. Featured weapon expansion. We're getting 2 new exotic weapons with the weapon, or not weapon, sorry, with the new update that's coming out, the major update, which is basically a new act / season, however you want to put it. And yeah, so we've got a kinetic slot weapon that is redacted, so good to know there, and we have a heavy slot weapon that is redacted. And then obviously the rest of these weapons that are being added to the featured weapon thing, so that's cool, I guess, but most of them aren't that great other than Sleeper and Tractor. The rest are just kind of meh. Darcy has a place, but we'll see. I'm excited to see if it'll be the Battle Pass / Expansion Pass, whatever they want to call them, the Season Pass thing, that will be one of these weapons, and it'll be the Secret Exotic Mission will be the other. I don't know if we're getting the Exotic Mission day 1 or not, we will see. I don't know which one's which. I'm kind of hoping this Redacted will be something fun. Maybe exotic crossbow. Maybe we will get our first primary one or special one. I know they were giving us heavy and they just gave us a heavy one, but I'm just saying it would be kind of cool to get a non-heavy one. Just saying, Bungie. But we have no clue what they're going to be yet. We'll see one of them in the reveal trailer on Tuesday, or we will see both, depending on if they decide to show off both. We'll see. Mida Multi-Tool is getting a rework. Honestly, nothing too crazy. Stage 4, so if you get kills with Mida Multi-Tool, you get a buff. Stage 4 now shots detonate on impact. So explosive rounds, or maybe like a micro missile round. I don't know. We'll see. I'm intrigued to see how it works. The rest of them aren't that great, so they're kind of meh. They definitely have a use. It's not going to be useless. It's just it's normal stuff. It's anything crazy. So yeah, it's getting a new catalyst. It's while an enemy is within close proximity and Mighty Multi-Tool is in hand, you are granted enhanced radar resolution and improved reload speed. This buff lingers for a few seconds once enemies are no longer within close proximity. Not really that great. Kind of meh. And also slightly increased movement speed bonus. Sturm is getting reworked a bit. Also, something to mention is it appears we're going to be getting special versions of the Midas Synergy weapons. So those are the weapons that have the Synergize perk for Mida. It's where that you move faster or whatever if you have a Mida on as well or something like that. Um, Basically the original lightweight frame of stuff. So it appears we're going to be getting special versions because it says here, primary ammo, Midas Synergy weapons grant progress at a rate on par with Mida multi-tool. So in theory, that means there should be special ones we might be getting next season. Also might be new primary ones. I really hope we do get to see new primary ones and not just have one that's Mida mini tool after all these years and Callus mini tool. So, yay. Sturm, rapid kills of Together Forever weapons within 3 seconds of each other now load extra Sturm overcharged shots. Primary ammo, Together Forever weapons load even more Sturm overcharged shots. So it looks like Sturm's perk, Together Forever, is weapon type is also going to be on special weapons soon too. So that's kind of cool. I'm excited to see how that works out. I'm definitely intrigued. Sturm overshot damage, overcharged shot is being changed. Before it was just a 260 PV, 61 PV damage above period, and then it was 78% against players. It's now 260% against bosses, 280% against mini bosses and champions, 300% against minors and majors, and 75% against players. That's a 3% less for PvP. I think you'll still be able to 2-tap with no issue, but it should without any issue. But I think the over shields will, if you have an over shield now, will definitely hurt it more. So we'll see. And providing Sturm more opportunities to load overcharged bullets now than ever before. They're making, my voice cracked, lol. They're making it where now it only goes up to 25 extra shots instead of 99 extra shots, which is kind of sad, but I get it. Accomplice, in addition to existing behaviors, final blows of Sturm overcharged shots now also increase the magazine capacity of Together Forever weapons until death. Capped at 100% of the base magazine. So if I'm using Drang or other weapons, I can go from, Drang has 16 bullets, I believe. I can go up to 32 bullets. That's pretty crazy. Obviously, it has to be kills with the overcharged shot, which I kind of hate. It should just be kills in general, and the kills in general will reload like a few bullets at a time. And then if you get an overcharged shot, it will fully reload. And if you get another overcharged kill, then it will double the mag or something. I think that'd be better, but Bungie, what do you expect? Catalyst, in addition to the increased stats, Sturm now has a brand new Catalyst. With the Catalyst kills with the Sturm overcharged shots grant charges that provide a 50% ready and stow speed scaler for Sturm and Together Forever weapons. One stack is consumed upon readying Sturm or a Together Forever weapon. Max 6 stacks. So basically you get a kill with the overcharged perk. You get bonus ready and stow speed. Honestly, 50% increase, I don't think it's that great because Sturm has some crazy stats, right? It has crazy handling stats, if I remember correctly, from the Catalyst. So I don't really think that's really it's kind of pointless, but whatever. Lucky Pants now buffs the damage of Sturm overcharged shot, but at lower than normal efficiency. 110% buff at illegally modded holster times 10. That's kind of interesting because if you can have 25 shots, those 25 shots are getting 110% damage of your times 10. For illegally modded holsters, so that's kind of cool. Increase Sturm's ammo generation stat from 30 to 80. Fix an issue where Sturm overcharged shots were not playing the impact VFX. A lens flare is now visible on opposing players' Sturm in PvP while they have active Sturm overcharged shots. So hopefully that means Ace of Spades might be getting that too eventually. We'll see. Ariana's Vow, a lens flare will now be visible on opposing players' Ariana's Vow in PvP. Graviton Spike, reduced time to gain overcharged shots from 20 seconds to 7 seconds. Reduced time to gain temporal alignment catalyst buff from infinite to 7 seconds. This is not a crazy buff or nerf, sorry, by any means. Bungie, please, that's not its problem. Please nerf what's actually its problem. Terraball increased the zoom to 16, and they reduced Peacekeeper bonus damage when using Terraball from 100% to 70% with Ravenous Beast active, which is its perk. Honestly, can we just make sure this doesn't work in PvP, period, would be nice, but whatever. Hawk Moon, Lucky Pants now buffs the damage of Paracausal Shot, but at lower than normal efficiency, 50% bonus damage, and illegally molded holster times 10. This kind of sucks, because you're only getting one shot, so why is the one shot only getting a 50% buff? It's one single shot, it should just get the full effect, because even if the full effect are on the normal shots, they're not increasing their damage. Until the final shot that gets increased damage. This is kind of pointless. I don't see this being meta at all, but whatever, we'll see. New Land Beyond's perk counter, previously capped at times 100, now stacks up to 999 for bragging rights. That's ridiculous and pointless. Increased damage is still capped at times 100. So that's cool. Lord of Wolves release the wolves damage versus bosses by 20%. They keep trying to nerf this thing to the ground. I believe they will eventually, but it might be a while. I don't know if this will be the one that takes it out. Grand Overture reduced total reserves from 58 to 48. Callus Omega Strike missiles no longer have to hit a direct hit to cause explosion. Now, if anything, even the blast rays of the explosion or the shot will now cause an explosion, which is cool. Queen's Breaker reduced damage versus boss by 8%. I really don't understand this because, in my opinion, this is not that great right now, but okay. Decreased charge rate v combat sight by 15%. So basically, let's say you're at 100 RPM, right? You shoot a shot, you're now at 120 RPM, you shoot a shot, you're now at 140. They're making it 15% less. So instead of 120, it'll be like 119, I think. 118, something like that. So not a huge nerf, but kind of a nerf, so we'll see. Outbreak, Perfected, Borrowed Diet, and Hierarchy of Needs. They're all just getting an ability where they don't give you as much super energy. I'm not going to read them all off. It's literally, that's all it is. They reduce the amount of super energy you gain from shooting things with it, so meh. Kind of sucks. Thunderlord fixed an issue with the Thunderlord Callus where it was refilling more ammo than intended. Yeah, I figured that was happening because you weren't supposed to be able to, one pull of the trigger, unload your entire mag and reserve mag. Like, everything got gone. The point of the Titan Exotic was to do that. And that Catalyst this season removed that option. So I figured they were going to change it. Personally, though, I thought it was kind of good where other machine guns would benefit, but then there'd be like one machine gun that would auto-refill for everyone. That way Titans, Hunters, and Warlocks all had one, but whatever. Bungie for you. I understood it was going to get fixed, but I was kind of hoping it wouldn't. Whirling Ovation, I think this is the Raid Exotic. They're changing it up, increase the rate at which Anticipation builds, a fairly optimized damage rotation utilizing Whirling Ovation. Should see the Anticipation meter fill time decrease from 10 seconds to 8 seconds. Less optimized damage rotations will see a more significant fill time decrease. Weapon perks, Burning Ambition, they're just making it where it procs a little quicker, put it simply. It also takes like one less shot to proc if you have nothing burning. So just making it a little bit more efficient, a little better. I don't know if it's going to be much better. We'll see. Enhanced perk improvements. Dragonfly is now getting 10% damage to explosions and losing 5 reload. Cluster Bombs is losing 5 blast radius and gaining 10% damage to each cluster bomb. This has a potential to be crazy. We will see. Obviously, cluster bombs are not the best thing ever, but this could have a potential for something. We'll see. Reservoir Burst is getting 5 stability removed and added 10% enhanced shot damage for the enhanced shot. Mind you, this is all the enhanced version, so before when you enhance Dragonfly, it only give you 5 reload, now it gives you more damage for the explosion. That's what they're doing here, so yeah. Continuing. Magnificent Howl, you're losing 5 reload speed, and you're gaining 5 damage to each enhanced shot, plus 5 damage. That's interesting. I don't know if that's going to make a huge difference in PvP, but it could in PvE make a little bit of a difference. We'll see. Eye of the Storm, remove 5 stability, added 10% effectiveness to all Eye of the Storm benefits. That's intriguing. I actually like that. Flash Cannon, remove plus 5 inventory size, added 1 second to disorient time. Chain Reaction, remove 20 inventory size. I'm sad about this. I actually like this for Chain Reaction. But it is getting 10% damage to the explosion, which could be better. I don't know. We'll see. Headstone, remove 5 stability, added new behavior. Precision kills always generate a large stasis crystal. I don't know if it's going to be bigger than a normal crystal from like a glacier grenade. Is it going to be the same size as glacier grenades, or is it going to be bigger? I don't know. I assume it'll be the same size like a glacier grenade, but we'll see. Chill Clip, remove 5 stability and added new behavior. Players can create slowing detonations from a lower percentage of the mag. So before, if you had like 4 in the mag, right, the top 2 would slow, the bottom 2 wouldn't. So now in theory, the top 3, or the top 2 should slow, and then the bottom one, though, 1 down, so the top 3 should still slow, and then the final shot won't. In theory, not in actual practice, that's in theory. We'll see when it comes out. Hatchling, remove 5 handling and added new behavior. There's a chance to generate 2 threadlings instead of 1. I think Precision Kill should always generate 2 threadlings, and then a body shot will always create 1 threadling with a chance at 2. I think it would be a better system in my opinion, but whatever. Temporal Blast is getting nerfed. They're making it where splash damage no longer benefits it, so the crossbow could be nerfed because the explosive bolt now won't be broken on it. But I have a build with one of them I was using where it didn't have explosive bolt. It had a different bolt entirely, and it actually seemed to be proccing very consistently too, so could be a replacement. Armor expansion. The feature armor is getting expanded. We have Young Armcar Spine, fuck me. Things are already broken, but okay. Frosty, Stronghold, Hazard Propulsion, Chromatic Fire, and Controversial Hold. I love to point out that literally the Hunter got screwed here. Young Cars is the only thing good here. Frosty's is hot trash. Frosty's needs a massive rework. It's honestly a useless exotic. It's kind of depressing. And Young Car's Spine is cool and good right now and kind of broken, but it's purely PvE. Or PvP, sorry. You can use it in PvE. I know there's PvE builds for it, don't get me wrong, but it's more PvP oriented. Has a use in PvE, but it's more PvP. Stronghold and Hazardous Propulsion are both really good Titan exotics. Hazardous Propulsion, if I remember correctly, is the chest piece. People use that for damage still, for damage phases and stuff, so it's still cracked. Stronghold, I believe, would have been used still, but sadly it is getting nerfed. Chromatic Fire and Controversial Hold, both absolutely stunning abilities for Warlock. Nobody ever uses them, but they are exotics, but they are good. And they're getting buffed. So yeah, anyways, let's continue. So Titans are getting a complete rework for the Stronghold. I don't want to read all this, but basically now when you get hit by more damage, you get less stacks. They're changing it instead of the stacks, how it works currently for Strongholds. They're changing it to where it's a bar and the bar fills up. And when it fills up to max, you get a... Yay, you heal. You have to max it out and you heal and you get a hit on this target. It's no longer Strongholds, it's more of do damage, equal health. I don't like how they changed this. Strongholds has been broken forever and I hated it, but especially last season, all these Titans thought they were so cool because they could just block, but yet were useless helping with damaging anything or doing anything useful other than just blocking, and they still end up dying a lot of the times because... Yeah, they basically thought they were invincible, and they'd get too much damage at once from multiple angles, and eventually it'd kill them. It takes a while, it took some effort, but they could die, and then they would rage quit when they did. I don't know how many I saw last season rage quit stuff because they died to an invincible build, even though that invincible build didn't kill anything that was high level, so useless. So I'm glad it's getting nerfed, but I'm also mad because they're destroying Strongholds. It is no longer Strongholds, it's something else entirely. I don't even know what this would be called, but it's bad. Honestly, it is bad. They're making it where you gain, the more damage you take, the less stacks you get. The less damage you take, the more stacks you get. That makes no sense to me. That already is dumb. Whenever you land a direct hit, or light attack, or heavy sword attack, consumes 50% of your perfect guard charge. Exhausting enemies hit and instantly healing you and nearby allies. So, yeah. Landing a sword hit while at max perfect guard stacks will now fully refill your sword energy. So basically you can just heavy attack twice. So that's kind of cool for damage builds maybe, but still sucks because it's not designed the way it should be. You also get a 30% damage reduction for 1.5 seconds upon exiting sword guard instead of getting resist times 4 while blocking. You also lose restoration. Restoration is no longer going to be tied to it. So yeah, the damage resist does stack with other things, so that's kind of cool, but I'm still sad about it. The Hunter's exotic for grapple, if you use your grenade. I think is it grapple itself or is it grenade? I don't remember. But if you use your grenade, you get woven mail. And sadly, this thing is getting buff technically, but it's not really crazy in my opinion. While woven mail is active, all new will now also restore health on defeating enemies. So if you have woven mail and you kill an enemy, it restores your health. Honestly, I would have preferred they just put that as an aspect or a fragment, or just made woven mail that period for everyone. Because the Titan has an aspect that's broken. This exotic form of it sucks. This is literally like the bitch-ass version of what that would be like. Because it only heals you if you get kills, and it only returns health, and we don't even know how much it returns. It doesn't even give us a number. Which, knowing Bungie, will be a slither. So, not really excited for that. That change means nothing. There's an unintended glitch with the spirit of the version of this thing, the Karatas Fase, the spirit version of it. Duration of woven mail provided reduced from 10 seconds to 6. They were reverting that in their next available patch, so that's a bug. Chromatic Fire for Warlock, detonation radius on precision kinetic weapon final blows is increased by 36%. That's pretty crazy. No longer applies keywords based on equipped super. I'm kind of sad about that because I kind of like that it applied keywords. So like Jolt, Blind, stuff like that. I think I did Blind for Arc, but... And then Scorch or Radiant. Scorch, yeah, I think it was Scorch for Solar, and then Void was Suppress or something. So they were shit, but they could have made it better. They could have had the ability to give any of the buffs, and it could have been random or something. I don't know. It could have been fun. So, sad face. Non-precision kinetic final blows now also produce a detonation. The radius of this detonation is dependent on how many recent elemental final blows the player has achieved. Controversial Hold is getting a crazy buff. Charge grenades will now apply weaken. That's crazy. I don't think I have to even explain that. That means you can take off the weaken effect off your fragment slot and put a better fragment there that benefits you more. So this is actually huge and makes this build definitely worth using in PvP and PvE because that's quite broken. Even if it's only 15% damage increase, PvP that can be a nuisance, and in PvE that can be a nuisance. So, in a good way. So yeah. Energy returned has been tuned per grenade type. Vortex grenade gains increase slightly but can no longer activate twice. Axiom Bolt, Handheld Supernova, and Scatter Grenade gains all received moderate increases. Abilities tuning review, Gambler's Dodge. Rescaled the amount of melee energy generated by Gambler's Dodge from 100% at 70 stat points to 100% at 100 stat points. So now you have to have 100 melee to get your melee back instead of 70, which sucks. In PvP, this hurts massively if you weren't running a melee build that has 100 stat. This hurts massively if you were. It doesn't matter, but most people don't. They run around 80, 90 at most for melee, unless they're going for a melee build, then they go higher. So this kind of sucks. It means you're definitely not going to be able to spam your melee as much. Dodging near an enemy now doubles this amount, so you do get extra amount, which is kind of cool. Reduce the amount of melee energy generated in PvP. Note the amount of energy generated in PvP has been reduced by only 20%, but will reduced by a full amount to 50%. That's crazy. 50% less than what you would get. So since you don't get 100% at 70, it'd be 50% less, whatever that is. 100% or 100 stat gives you 100% back when you dodge of melee. So 50% of that would be 50% of your melee would come back. That's it. That's crazy. Yeah, Bungie just doesn't want hunters to have their melees. Meanwhile, Titans and Warlocks are getting their melees back every second with certain builds. Just saying, Bungie, where the fuck is your fair play logic? Because all you're doing is making Warlocks and Titans more broken, and you're nerfing the shit out of hunters yet again. Warlocks have had the least amount of nerfs. Warlocks need the most amount of nerfs. Anyways. Lightweight throwing knives reduce damage versus players by 16%. Truthfully, I don't think their damage was the problem. I think their problem was there was 2 of them. They should really reduce that to 1, personally. Woven mail application no longer resets duration to original source duration. Don't exactly know what that means. I don't know if it just means if you gain 10, if you have 10 woven mail and you activate your woven mail again, it won't give you 10. It'll give you like +3 or something. I don't know. I'm assuming that's what it means, but whatever. Stats. Stat damage bonus no longer increase self-damage. Melee and grenade stat damage bonus no longer apply to melee and grenade damage done with it. While in Super, I thought they said that wasn't going to be a thing, but it turns out that does work right now, which is crazy. Didn't know. Super stat continues to increase melee and grenade energy or grenade damage in Super. There's an issue where the class stat energy benefits were not scaling smoothly between increments of 10. Yeah, I'm glad they're fixing that. They fixed the mobility stat issue, but in reality, mobility should just be at 100%. I don't know why. Rezel was at 100. I just think Rezel, Recov, and mobility should just all automatically be 100 personally, but whatever. Anyways, that's the little updated stuff. There's some good stuff here, there's some mess stuff, and there's some trash stuff as always. Bungie can never get perfection, I swear. Not horrible, there's a lot of changes here that are actually cool and unique, but a lot of them I don't think will really matter, so kind of pointless. What do you expect? If you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, comment. If you think a lot of these changes are crazy and you're like, oh, you're wrong, let me know. If you think I'm right, let me know as well. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, comment. Thanks for watching. Adios. Bye.